Wide Boy. All right, we're going to base this off a live acoustic version from 2010, but we're also going to talk a little bit about the original, the intro and the solo from the original, and that'll become clear why in just a minute. So let's start off with this live performance from 2010. The first second is missing from the video, but it's okay. So let's check this out. All right, so he starts off the song in F with a 4-chord 1-4-5 progression. So we start with F, and then the second chord is an F over A, which is still really an F chord, just a first inversion, and then a B flat, and then C sus4 to C. Right. So you could call that 5 chords if you count sus4 and the C, but that's what he's doing, and it sounds like this. Now Nick does it with some vibrato. He does it kind of like that. He must be playing really, really thin strings. I mean, I've got ropes on this thing, 13 to 56, and that's really hard to do. So if you watch the video, you'll see him do the vibrato. It sounds really good too. So what's the significance of this starting in F? And how does that compare to the original? Well, the original song doesn't start in F, okay? Let's listen to that really quick. Here's the 1984, whatever year this was. So that is in D minor, all right? So we have a D minor, A minor, and then an A minor with a C bass, to B flat, A minor with a C bass. And it sounds kind of like, all right, so that's a totally different beginning. So why is he doing it with this in the acoustic version? In the original version of the song, the solo is an F, and that's the only time he goes to F in the whole song. So in this live version, he loops that section in F, and when he gets to the solo, he turns his looper on and plays a solo, not the same solo from the recorded version. So that's his way of being able to have something to play over for the solo. So at this moment, I'll give you 2 ways you can go with this song if you want to do it on an acoustic. Actually, 3 ways. The first is that you do what he does and you have a loop pedal. I have one, you know, but it means I have to mic the guitar through an amp. I just use the built-in mic. I use like a Zoom Q8 or whatever this thing is, and it has a pretty decent mic built into it with it's like one of those cross mic deals, you know, it has 2 mics. So if I wanted to loop it, I'd have to play through. I have a couple of acoustic amps, you know, I have to set it all up, I have to mic it, and you know, look, it's a big pain in the ass. So you could do, then the first choice is you can do what he does. Play that intro in F, loop it, and when you get to the solo, kick the looper in and play the solo, and I'll talk about that a little bit more later. The other way you could do this is start the song in F as he does, and then when you get to the solo, either just play the chords or play the solo without the backing chords. The other option is you could just play the song with the original intro, what I just showed you, and then when you get to the solo, either play the chords in F or just play the solo without a backing track. So whatever you want to do here, of course, it's, you know, it's all your choice, just as long as you're happy with it and you're having a good time. So I recorded those chords into an MP3 before I started recording this. So when we get to the solo, I'll just play the solo over those 4 chords. But you know, you have a lot of choices here, okay? So you either start with the F, F over A, B flat, C sharp, or C sus4 to C. You don't even have to play the C sus4. You could just play a C there. That's also fine. Or you can do the D minor. That part there would work fine as well. Now, the reason why both of those work is because they have one thing in common, and is that they end with a bass note that's on a C, right? Whether it's an A minor over C or just the C sus4 to C, they both end in C. And that's super significant because what he does there is he moves up half a step into the verse, which is in C sharp or D flat, whichever way you want to look at it. We're going to go with C sharp in this because it makes more sense harmonically to go from C to C sharp than C to D flat. At least I think so. So either of those will work for that reason, okay? So out of that intro, we're going to go to a verse, and the best thing to do is just to listen to that. So let's fire up this acoustic version again. And okay, so he does a little banter here. And then he turns the looper off and kicks it in on the C sharp chord. All right, so listen. Okay, so one thing about this song is that there's a definite pattern to, well, to a lot of things, but the chord sequences, again, it's a 4-chord sequence that is just the same chords in a different key. So we start with a C sharp, and that's just a power chord. You could play a power chord. You could even play the whole. That sounds great. You know, the whole 4-note chord. You could just do a power chord if you wanted. And then we go to one that might be a little tricky for some of you. It's a C sharp over F chord. So all we're doing here is we're taking a C chord, shifting it up 1 fret, and then you have to put a finger behind it. So if you make a C chord with those 3 fingers, okay, move it up a half a step, and then bring your index finger behind it, you have this chord here. Right? And that's a C sharp right there, and then you have the F and the bass. So how does that compare with the opening of F to F over A? Well, F over A is a first inversion chord where the third, the A, is the new bass note of the chord. And then here we have the same thing. We have a C sharp with a F in the bass, and the F is the third in C sharp. Right. C sharp, D sharp, F. The next chord is the 4 chord, which is a F sharp chord. And then the 5 chord is G sharp. Now, on the acoustic version, I'm pretty sure he's playing a G sharp major here. On the old Wide Boy version, he plays a chord that I like better here, and that's a G sharp 7 sus 4. And to play a G sharp 7 sus 4, say that 3 times fast, the chord's on the screen, but if you just take a standard power chord, you know, this works in any chord, by the way, to make it a 7 sus 4, any bar chord. You just bring your pinky down here. That's all you have to do. Because now you've got the 7th right here. All right, that string is the 7th, and the sus 4 is on the G string. So that would sound like this. So the trick is going to be from this chord to this chord, right? My advice to you is focus on your middle finger. And when you switch this chord down like this, just try to make a B flat minor chord. Okay, that's what you want to do in your head, is switch from this C sharp major to a B flat minor, but bring that, you know, anchor that middle finger right there, and then bring that finger up right there like that. So you have to make a kind of a switch like this. Okay, so you come down and then do that. That'll take practice if you've never made that chord before, but it's doable, all right? If that's too hard for whatever reason, you could just do this. You could play a C sharp bar chord and then that chord there. It's a bit dissonant, right? It's a, you know, it's an altered fifth interval. Like that'll work too, right? Doesn't sound as good, but you know, you got to start somewhere, right? So C sharp over F, F sharp, G 7 sus, G sharp 7 sus 4, all right? And we're then going to have another key change. So the first key change went from C to C sharp. This next key change is going to go down to A. So let's listen and see what happens. So there we go to A. So if that's our new 1 chord and we follow the rule from the previous progressions, we know the second chord is going to be the first inversion. And indeed, we go from A to A over C sharp, and then the 4 chord, which is D, the 5 chord is E, and that repeats. And then when it says the oh me oh my part, all right, that is a little bit different. We'll get to that in just a second. So again, here you could play this as this A part. You could play it as a power chord. I like to play it as a sus2. I like to get that kind of a ring in there. But when you watch Nick play it live, he plays just the power chord portion, and then he plays that A over C sharp like that. I do it differently. I like to get that in there, so then I just play it like this. Okay, you know, horses for courses, different strokes for different folks. I much prefer the sound of this myself. And then the D, it's really a D. It's really a D5. You're not playing the high E. And then there's a little interlude kind of a part where it says, and then it goes into the You're No Big Deal, It's a Wide Boy part, which is also an A. But let's talk about this interlude, because there's a couple of different ways you could do this. First, what are the chords? It is an F sharp minor to a C sharp minor, and then it's a F sharp minor to C sharp minor again, and then it goes to a D, and then ends on a E. Now, I play this just where my fingers land. You know, I have no set way of doing this. I've played this acoustic a trillion times. Nick will do it with the D here and the E here, and I'll do that sometimes too. So let's play through that so you get that. Right? And then that goes back to the chorus, which is a repeat of the A progression. So let's just play through that whole progression that we just went through, starting in A, right? So. Trying to sing, I'm just giving you a guide vocal here, okay? So then we end on that C, or that E, excuse me, and then E is the dominant of A, the 5 chord, and then so we just go right back to an A, nice natural change there. So the chorus of "Ain't no big deal, just a white boy, no big deal, just an ordinary guy." All right. Same deal. And then we end again on the "Oh me, oh my, oh me, oh my." So it's the same thing twice in a row, okay? So then we have to talk about what happens in the solo, right? Because on the recorded version, the part is slightly different than the acoustic version. So let's just concentrate on the acoustic version and go with that. So after he lands on that "Oh me, oh my, oh me, oh my," there's another interlude part that I want you to hear on this acoustic version. It's real simple, so let's check this out. Let's just play that chorus part there and see what he's up to. All right, that might be worth listening to one more time. I actually think he makes a mistake here. Far be it for me to accuse Nick of making a mistake, but I think he does. But let's listen to this again. Did you spot the mistake he made there? I think he made a mistake. Maybe he didn't, but I think he did. So what happens here is we have another C sharp to, an F sharp to C sharp minor to D to E, right? But what's different about this is he's playing the "Somebody Loves You" chord, as I call it, where you have the B and E string of this chord open. So your thumb hooks over the top to take care of the bass note, those two fingers there, and then this finger here, this little piggy right here, plays the A note there, and the B and the E are open. So you get what he does this the second time is he goes like this. He stays on that D twice as long, and I think that's where he messed up and forgot the C sharp. So just to be clear then, if we play that whole part through up to the solo, all right, just starting from the chorus, we have "No big deal, just a white boy. No, just a Now with that part there, you can get the chords open kind of like it did there. Or you could go. With a bit more muting. Hey look man, whatever's clever, okay? I like the muting style, I like the open style. When I play it, it depends, you know, whatever I'm in the mood for, and in the past it was probably just depending on how sober I was, right? So that last E chord then is really important, because from that last E we go to the solo, which starts in F, right? So this is why having the looper pedal is so cool, because you can just go from that E to your looped. Right, so it would sound like this. Righto. Very cool. So whether or not you're looping this, I don't know. So if you are, you need to learn the solo. If you just want to do the solo there without the backing chords and you're just hanging out with your mates and playing it, this will work too. So let's talk about the solo. Now what he does on this acoustic version, let's just listen to a little bit of this. He's just improvising. There's nothing going on here. It's just improvisation. And I played a wrong note. I hit a B instead of a B flat, but who cares? He's just noodling around in F, all right? And I can guarantee you every night he plays that, he plays it differently. He's a great improviser. If you listen to a lot of his live stuff, he just wings it on a lot of things. However, the solo for the original version, to me, sounds like it was a composed solo. And it's really, really awesome. So what I like to do when I do this song is I like to play the original solo. Especially if I'm playing it for people who know the song, which is pretty seldom these days, let's be real. But I would like to teach you how to play the original solo. So let's just... all right, so I'm going to teach you the original solo from the 1984, whatever year it was. And I'm going to play through it with the track. After that, I'll just play it, and then tabs on the screen. You won't have any trouble with this. It's not too hard. And then remember, this solo is in F, okay? And it's mostly all pentatonic stuff. So here we go. Let's check this out. So great, man, just so great. There's some nice whammy stuff in there too. I'd like to do an electric version of this video someday just to bust out the whammy. But yeah, real simple. So we've got the F over A, B flat, C progression being played 4 times here, right? So I break this down into, let me think about this. It's really got like 3 main pieces. So the first part, we slide in on an A here. So you can see it's all pentatonic, right? That's our first lick, all on screen, tab. Second lick goes... Oops. And then the last lick. Now, that last note there, okay, I'm not giving you the bird. That last note there is a C sharp, which of course is out of the scale, but what is the verse in? Well, the verse is in C sharp. So the solo leads back to verse number 2. So if you are playing this solo, you don't play that last note there. You just go, oops. Let me try that again. Right, you jump back to that there. So as I said, I made a little MP3 of the chords. So let's fire that up.
1, 2, 3, 4.
All right. Yeah, that actually worked out okay. So that's what you have to do. So don't want to dwell on the solo. There's nothing fancy in it, right? There's no outside notes, straight diatonic in F, nice vibrato, nothing real tricky about it. So out of that solo, then we come back into the movie. He played the driver. So then we go through the same deal again. We have the key change to A, the same transitions, everything is the same. We go through another chorus, but then he throws in, well, just as he does on the original recording, there is a bit of a difference here. So let's scoot forward here and get to the second chorus. Okay, here we go. Oh, change. Okay, so again, he loops and does a little solo at the end. So coming out of then that second chorus, California teeth and your California tan. Oh, I hate to tell you that you're no Superman, you're just a white boy. So what's going on there? Well, guys, it's the same deal with a slight change. We have the same F sharp minor chord, right? Which you can play like that, you can play like that, whatever you want. So we have the with sanitary teeth and your, wait, sanitary teeth and your California tan. Oh. So there's no C sharp this time. Sanitary teeth and your California. E to D. Just a power chord. Real quick. California tan. Oh. And then you come up here to the E and make that change. E like that to the F sharp minor. So if you get those open notes in there, awesome. Just as a power chord, also awesome. Well, your sanitary teeth and your California tan. Oh, I meant to tell you that you're no Superman, you're just a white boy. And then at that part, wide boy, he goes. So again, he changes it. So there, C sharp, F sharp, excuse me, F sharp minor, C sharp minor to D, E. So, but the rhythm, listen. All right, listen to that rhythm. the way through that. Let's go all the way through that, all right? All right. So there you have it. All right. Nothing hard. Just gotta, as always, practice this. So what about that last solo? Again, it's improvised, and it's in F sharp minor, right? So just break out your F sharp minor pentatonic licks, and have a good time with that. Okay, I'm not gonna go through what he's doing here. It's all F sharp minor, nothing fancy. Let's take a little listen to this. Whatever, just goof around, okay? So he noodles around, and then he comes back to the add those open notes like that, or just end on the kind of the power chord, and that's it. So do you really need to do that last solo? That's up to you. If you have a loop pedal and you want to get down with it, that's dope, right? It would be really cool. People would probably really like it. But what you could do is you could just come out of that with the the California tenor. Listen, guys, it's music. There's no rules here. Kind of are, I guess, but as far as the structure of how you want to do this, look, there's a million ways. Without what I would suggest, like, not that you give a shit, but if I didn't have a looper, I would play the solo without the chords underneath, because I like the solo, and I would not play the end solo and just end it like I just showed you. If I had a looper, I'd do it exactly the way he did it live. So that's what I present to you there. But that's it. That's Wide Boy. I've been looking forward to doing this one for a long time. So I hope you liked it. If you have any questions or whatever, hit me up. Peace.